The roles and responsibilities of a licensed CAWT applicator fall across many regulatory authorities that will be discussed in this module. As we mentioned at the very beginning of this training, to be able to apply manure to the ground for hire, you must first be licensed by MDA. This involves filling out an online application, paying an application fee, watching this training, passing a test to be certified, and then holding your license and keeping it current. Once you are applying manure to the ground, you are responsible for following the rules and working with PCA, CFO, DNR, DOT, and more. As you learned in Module 1, the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, or MDA, holds responsibilities for certifying and licensing commercial manure application operations. You are responsible for understanding the environmental risks, safety hazards, and legal requirements of manure handling, transportation, application, and management. One of your duties as a licensed manure applicator is to carry proof of license at all times. Be sure the company sign is clean and easily seen. The license number printed on all application equipment needs to be clearly visible by any inspector. The MDA also enforces CAWT licensing laws. You can report unlicensed applicators or unlicensed application companies. More information about the CAWT program is available on the MDA website. Your Site Manager's Manual has even more tools, information, and appendices to help you learn about the work you're doing and the license that you're being issued. Of the 87 counties in Minnesota, 53 have the delegated authority to administer the state feedlot rules. Each of the delegated counties has designated a staff person to be the county feedlot officer, also known as the CFO. The CFO not only enforces the state feedlot rules, but they can help you find educational pamphlets on licensing, regulations, and practices related to manure application. They are also your best source of information for county-specific rules and regulations concerning feedlots and manure application. For instance, call for advice if you're not sure you've had a reportable spill. A contact list of CFO phone numbers is available at the PCA website by searching County Feedlot Program. The CFO will ask questions and advise you about your next steps. With or without the help of the CFO, reporting spills to the state duty officer is required. If you have a reportable spill, you need to contact the state duty officer. The state duty officer will contact all necessary officials to aid in response to the spill and help with the cleanup. If you have any spill, talk with your site manager immediately. If the spill is reportable, you need to contact the Minnesota duty officer, who can always be reached at 1-800-422-0798. You can pause this presentation at this time so you can put those numbers in your cell phone as Minnesota Duty Officer. If it is a medical emergency, do not call the state duty officer first. Always call 911 first for medical emergencies. You will learn more about how to respond to a spill in Module 7. The Department of Transportation, or DOT, and Department of Public Safety, such as State Highway Patrol, provides for safe movement on Minnesota roads and highways. The majority of your time is spent driving, so you need to know the laws and requirements that apply to your vehicle and how you operate it. This applies to all driving conditions, from the field to country roads, and all vehicle types, including, but not limited to, pickup trucks, semis, tankers, spreaders, and tractors. You'll learn more about Department of Transportation requirements that apply to safety in Learning Module 7. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, or PCA, enforces the land application rules and requirements. There are many rules that govern the land application of manure. First and foremost is Minnesota Rule 7020.2225. That includes requirements such as the nutrient rates, manure and soil testing, manure management, record-keeping requirements, and setbacks, which we defined in Module 2 as the distance required between manure application and an area that contains or may contain water. In most cases, the planning related to nutrient rates, soil testing, manure management plan, and record keeping will be determined by your site manager or company owner. In Module 4, we will review what some of those environmentally sensitive areas look like and how you can best judge the distance from your application to specific setbacks. To make sure you know what to do, advise your site manager of specific situations so you can get advice about the correct setback for that application. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, DNR, has responsibility for public waters, such as lakes, protected wetlands, and floodplains. Applicators are responsible for knowing the location of these areas and following protective measures described in the Manure Management Plan, or MMP, from the farm. In general, the application method of manure incorporation is highly encouraged around these protected areas. This is because manure that is not incorporated into the soil is more likely to move into sensitive waters. The Pollution Control Agency regulates all water, while DNR regulates specific waters of the state. Therefore, if your manure application moves into waters of the state, the violation can escalate to involve multiple agencies, including the DNR. DNR law enforcement can issue citations for negligent behavior, including failure to report spills in waters of the state. The DNR is also one of the emergency responders available to help in an incident or emergency. This module provided information about the roles of government authorities that are required by law to oversee manure application for the sake of your neighbors and the environment. In the next module, we will go into more detail about the importance of manure and how best to manage its use.